All right. This is Table Talk. We're so glad to be here with you from the farm. And Marilyn's going to tell us a little bit about the farm and what she's doing here. But I wanted to have her here today to talk about the work that she's doing with some young women. I'm so excited about what she's doing. And I welcome her to Table Talk. Welcome.
Thank you. And I feel so honored to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. You know,
so grateful.
On Table Talk, we do business strategy, we do family and faith. We talk about how are we making an impact in our community. And I want you to hear today what Marilyn is doing to make an impact in our community and even in the African American community with our health and fitness. And how the farm here, this is amazing. You guys need to come here. They have an amazing brunch. I'm gonna let Marilyn tell you about the farm. So Marilyn, tell the people where we are today and what you guys are doing out here at the farm.
Okay, we're actually called the Old School Farm. And it's called that because they purchased a building that was an old school that was torn up and just a hot mess sitting in the neighborhood where so many things could go wrong. It's located in Bells Bend. It's at 5022 Hydes Ferry Road, or Hydes Ferry Pike. And one of the great things about it, it's really right outside of Bordeaux. People think it's Ashland City when they hear where it is, Bells Bend, but no, it's 37218. So it's right here in our own neighborhood, and it's an organic farm with a great cafe, a bar with alcohol, and an organic garden where they sell vegetables and produce from. So come down and visit us.
Yes, I was so excited. The last time I was here, they hadn't finished off the music room. They're doing weddings out here or special events. And one of the things that I was so excited about when we were talking this morning, Marilyn, was the original intent for the farm and the work that they're doing with young people with learning disabilities and helping them have jobs and have respectable jobs. Tell me a little bit about that program that's out here.
Well, the core of the program, they're like a social service company. On one end of the building, it's called Millar Rich, was the original business. And they work with adults, but now they are working with young people as well. Mm-hmm. But basically what they do, instead of sending people who have mental challenges or disabilities to foster homes or institutions, they actually pair them with the family, similar to almost like adoption. But then what they do and what they add to it is they help you be sustainable with that person that you bring into your family. They're there to help you with health care, with learning, with finding them jobs. And like Yolanda spoke of, sometimes it's hard to find jobs when you have a disability where you're treated respectfully. Yeah. So they had about maybe 9 acres, not quite sure. And because it's in a school, they had a kitchen and a cafeteria and a gym that they turned into a bar and performance room for events, and then a cafe. And now we've outgrown both of those because the food is so good and the energy here is so loving that we built an event barn so that we can extend and do more. But what they did to give sustainable jobs is that they took the clients who are able to, and they train them how to be organic farmers. And I mean, they really are treated with respect. So it's really not about the earning or the money potential of it, because, you know, you have to do things at a slower pace. Exactly. But with all things, when you do good intentions, God blesses you. So the blessing is coming in the other areas with the produce. And they have real jobs where they sustain themselves, they're treated respectful, and they have a real skill that they could go anywhere and work. So that's the great thing about this place. Yes.
That is so good. And one of the things I want to talk to you about is your partnership that you have with them out here, which is amazing. I guess it's been over a year ago I came out for brunch where you were raising money to continue to do the work that you're doing. So I have some questions for you so that people can know what you're doing and the impact that you're making, and then figuring out how they can help you with what you're doing. And I'm gonna put my glasses on because I need them. I said, I've never worn glasses, and I started getting older, and I was like, okay, like heal my vision, Jesus. Yes. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the program that you've partnered with them with, and what you're doing with the girls when they come to the program.
Well, actually, as you can see, as beautiful as I am, I have a severe weight issue. So my mom and most of the people in her family were either obese or overweight. And I apologize for that.
Sometimes we get calls.
Yeah.
And we have to like just shut it off and tell them that she's on an important interview with Table Talk.
And Table Talk. I have to call you back.
And so she is answering her now.
Okay. Bye-bye. I'm here at 12. I'll give you a call in 30 minutes. I hope you heard
See,
me.
this is how live TV goes. You just kind of go with it. You go with it. And we're going to hear about the work that she's doing with the young girls out here and why she decided to do that. So Marilyn, continue to tell us about your story and why you started doing the program with the girls.
Well, like I was saying before, most of my mother and her siblings have all passed away from obesity-related diseases. And the last request that she asked of me was to Marilyn lose the weight, stop a generational curse in our family, and help others in the community, particularly women. And out of trying to keep that promise and doing research, I found out that African-American women, and I think we probably know it subconsciously, we are the heaviest citizens in the United States and probably worldwide because it's accepted in our culture. So 4 out of 5 African-American women are either obese or overweight. And if you think that I'm kidding, and it can be 3 to 4 out of 5, but it's really 4 out of 5. When you're at church Sunday, when we go pay our tithes, or we walk around, take a look, and you will say, oh my goodness. I decided to do something to target women. But then as I started doing research, I found out I divided it into 3 areas, and I'll try to be quick. The elderly, women, and kids. And with the elderly, they feel like, baby, I'm 70, 80. I know how to eat, but I'm here, I'm smoking, I'm good, I'm done. Then with women, we tend to make more excuses, and those excuses are because we are the bulk of everything. We're the nucleus, most in our families. Large amount of us are single parenting homes. And instead of giving our care to us, we're giving it to so many other areas. But young girls, when they come in and you give them fresh produce like eggplants or squash, they look at you like, are you kidding?
Like, what is this?
What is it? But then after you make these really cool recipes that are kid-friendly, they do hands-on, they are so about it.
Wow.
And they leave, we do a class,
that.
and this cooking class is free for kids who are in underserved communities, urban communities, which is changing. They're becoming more diverse. But when they start cooking and they start learning that this is healthy, this is whole food versus processed, they don't want to go backwards.
Wow, that is so good.
And the honest truth is, they're the ones who we should be concentrating on.
Absolutely.
Because they're the future.
Absolutely.
So they have the possibility of changing it for us. Because the thing is, with us being obese, we're dying from it. There are other cultures and people who have the same diseases at greater numbers, but because of unfairness in rural and poor communities, where we don't get the same service, we're dying from it more than the people who have the diseases or disorders more than we do. So that's how SUGGA Mamas got started. And this company has partnered with me by giving fresh produce, by allowing the girls to come into their kitchen during a summer camp program, and they learn to cook straight from the garden to the table. The girls actually have land where they plant. And they harvest. They got chickens. They do everything. They do greenhouse work, and they're loving it, except for the heat.
In the summer, they're like, okay, I need some.
But believe it or not, they just gave the girls, donated a vintage Airstreamer camper to turn into a food truck / clubhouse for them.
That is
this
so
summer,
amazing.
They have a project to do and a place to call their own out here.
That's
just amazing. I love
that. Is amazing. Okay. You talked a little bit about what inspired you to get started. How have you seen the girls change, and how has it changed you by starting it?
When all of this happened, I was also going through an illness, and it's like a mystery illness, and I still am, but I'm much better. I was in the bed, I could barely see, walk or talk. It was just a hot mess. And I had 2 granddaughters, one that was about 4, one was 3, and then 2 little cousins. And they were all from like about maybe 2 to 5. And even though I couldn't talk much, they came over every afternoon and they would brush my hair because I was in bed.
Yeah.
They would color with my hands and they would talk to me. And so often I was crying because I didn't know how to get out of this position. And my 4-year-old laid in the bed with me and she put her head next to mine. They call me honey because I'm too young to be called grandmother.
That's right. That is right.
She leaned over in the bed. She said, honey, you better stop that crying and you better focus and concentrate or you're never going to get out of here.
4.
Oh, my goodness. I'm looking at her and then she said, oh, I don't even know what that means. Focus and concentrate. But that's what mommy and daddy tell me to do.
Wow.
So when I nodded my head and promised her that I would, and she said, and when you finish, because you can do anything, make me a girls club.
No way.
And so that's how it all started.
I love that.
I went to
the inspiration from a 4-year-old.
Yeah, she did. And she got me out of that bed.
Wow.
She really did. She really did. So I'm so grateful that God spoke through her.
Exactly.
To me. She helped bring me out of the deep water. Yeah.
Wow. I love that story. So tell me about what has been your, whenever we start something, there are going to be challenges. There are going to be successes. There's going to be times when you feel like quitting, because we've all been there. Tell me, what has been some of your biggest challenges as you have started this program? It's
been 2. One, my health. But you just have to do. You just have to get up and do. But most of all, being ill for so long because I got ill in 2009. Well, an issue because I don't even know what it is.
Wow.
But I lost everything. I mean, everything. My parents had to come and get me and move me here back home to Atlanta. At that time, my mother was in bed sick too. But just the challenge of where am I going to find this food? Because I wasn't a nonprofit yet. I wasn't an established company. The only thing I had was Hartman Park willing to allow me to come in and work with their girls in the summer. So I had these bodies, and I came once a week. And I would set a budget anywhere from $25 to $50. It always went a little more, but people would just give. And I'm telling you, sometimes I would go to the grocery store and really not have it. And I'd be picking up, putting back, picking up, putting back. And he was like, who do you trust? And it always happened. It just always came. And that's how it continued. The first summer, that's how it happened. The second summer, right before this program was to start in that June, I had a fundraiser here during National Women's Health Week in May and Mother's Day, and that donation from all you guys that paid for the second summer, and now we're on our third summer to come. So it's just been amazing. I had to trust God, trust me, and I learned that that's trusting the God in me, and He just always delivers. He just always delivers, even though it's uncomfortable sometimes.
Exactly.
But He never lets me down.
Exactly. We push through even when in the hard times. God brings the people, He brings the financing, but sometimes it just takes us taking that step of faith. And saying, I know I've been called to do this, so let's go do it. So my next question for you is, what are your goals for 2017? How do you want to see this program grow in 2017?
Well, the existing programs we have are Cooking Healthy with Miss Honey. And that's what the kids call me Honey. At the Hartman, which is a summer camp program. We want to extend that as a school year too. And we're attaching ourselves to 4-H. So that possibly we'll have some funding as an after-school program that it just extends it one more day. Then we want to extend it on a Saturday program because a lot of kids, what I've learned being a substitute teacher is the kids in the neighborhood that faces more challenges with poverty and single parenting homes. Those are the kids that attend school more than kids in neighborhoods that have. And it's because really it's basically a safe place. It's where they're going to eat every day, and they sometimes take food home on the weekends to a backpack program. So we want to extend it to a program that's a Saturday day program where the Sugar Mamas actually come in, because everything we do is home cooked. And that they cook for these kids by their peers. But on a Saturday, but it's a free lunch. But what the kids have to do to get their free lunch is they're going to have to sing.
I love it.
So we're making this choir called the Believe Choir, and we're calling it Music in the Kitchen.
Music in the kitchen.
And by believe means I'm a bee. loved. Girl, you got to help me with the spelling.
Okay.
Inspired, embraced, victorious, and encouraged.
Wow.
And so along with that, we're working through a partnership with a company right now that I can't say the name of.
Okay.
But they've created
You'll hear about it later.
Soon, very soon.
Yes.
They've created a program that's character development. And so the kids will also have a curriculum that comes along with the singing.
Oh,
and
great.
so we're trying to establish a community choir where the kids can just learn to believe. But I believe that you have to have a knowing.
Yeah.
And even there's a scripture that to believe means there's great possibility, but to know means it's a fact.
That's so good. So you got to say that again.
To believe means it's a great possibility.
Yes.
But to know means it's a fact. And some people are so beaten down that it's too hard to even believe. So if we can get kids believing in themselves and they can be anything, by the time they finish this program, they're going to know who they are. And that's our goal.
Oh, that is so good.
And nothing's better than music and food.
Nothing better than music and food.
Complete happiness.
You have some good food and some good music. You're just good.
Yes. So other programs extending to is that we're working on a partnership with Metro Schools, with the mayor's first day, where we'll do, because in August when school returns, that's actually Kids Eat Nutritious Month. So we'll be introducing that with them, partnering with them, hopefully, as we're working on it, to do like a concert and entertainment, not only just coming down and get your backpacks, to talk about health, because that's August, and October is Childhood Obesity Month. I don't know if people know that African American kids, 1 in 3 kids are overweight, but with us, it's 40%.
Wow.
So, and what's happening is, with brown people, period, that's Latinos, is that our kids are getting type 2 diabetes. So we want to do something to help prevent that. And it's basically through nutrition, even as adults. So if we can do that program in August with Metro Schools to get it talking about, and September is Childhood Obesity Awareness Month, and we want to do a giant pep rally all over the state of Tennessee, hopefully, to stomp out obesity. And that's another program. And then everything is about keeping active for the summer of this end of the school term for 2017-2018. We want to do an old school Fields Day. And that's because this school is called the old school, this farm, to do something for them giving, because they are so giving. And that's Susan Rich, Rowan Millar, and Jim Meacham. They are the owners of this company, who asked for nothing. They didn't ask who I was. They didn't ask have you ever been a criminal. And they opened their doors because they believe in what we're doing. So those are our plans for the next year.
Oh, great. So what keeps you going? What keeps you like saying, I have to continue to do this?
Because through my struggle of losing everything, I came from a really great music business background.
Absolutely. And I remember. We go way back.
And I've traveled the world and done a lot of things, as the Donny Hathaway song says.
Yes.
And then my life crashed. So something happened in that process that God spoke to me and told me to meet him in a garden. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I did. And it's this place. So I have no doubt that I'm where I'm standing, exactly where I'm supposed to be. So it doesn't matter what it looks like or feels like. I have to keep the knowing of that I'm standing in God's territory for me. And how I know is because great things drop out the sky. So I believe that when you accept your purpose, and my purpose for me, I'm going to win some Grammys. I'm going to be this, that. I just want to be a black girl that rocks. That's all I want. And to do God's will for me. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. I have to stand on endurance and not grow weak and faint. And keep going and realize, and I'm just coming to this, Shalonda, realizing I want to fix the battle for me and what's making me feel bad. But I've come to a place of realizing if that's true, the battle is not yours. And if I keep focusing on the battle, I can't do the work.
That's so good. That's so true.
Someone sent me, today's my mom's birthday, and it's motivating me. Someone sent me a sentence that said, focus will bring suddenly. So in 2017,
suddenly. That's
if
so
I
good.
focus, suddenly everything will happen.
Absolutely.
And so those are the things that keep me going. The promise, God will for me, and just want to be a black girl that rocks.
Black girl that rocks. You already a black girl that rocks. I'm still trying to work this camera here.
It's okay.
Trying to get it in the right place. Yeah, we're here.
We're there.
Yes, that's better.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, what has been the biggest lesson you have learned during this journey?
The difference between believing and knowing and love.
Yeah.
That love is everything.
Yeah.
And that if I just have an agape love, like, and I know it sounds so silly.
No,
it's so mushy.
That's so true.
But
it's that simple.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. And I think sometimes we try to make it really complex and difficult, but it's that simple.
Because he says God is love.
Yeah.
And that if I just love in a human capacity, but in a godly way, then everything else he'll take care of for me. Exactly. It's kind of giving me the ability to breathe better. So it kind of wipes away judgment.
Yes.
All those things. So
exactly.
I know it sounds sappy.
That is so
but just
good.
Love. And I promise you get this big smile.
Absolutely. I only have 2 more questions for you. And then my next one is, where do you need help the most? When you're doing this work that you're doing, where are you seeing that you need the most help?
I need a circle, a team, women. And the reason I say that is there is a disparity in healthcare for minorities, and particularly even women, period.
Yes.
But particularly African-American women. And with us being obese, they've come to the conclusion, and this is my perception, but most women like me have came to the same conclusion, and some of them just stopped the fight and died. But it seems the medical industry seems to think we don't care about us. So the only way to show people that we care about us is for us to care about us. And that's called self-love. Yeah. And I think for a Black woman, that's the hardest thing in the world to do, because self sounds like selfish. And it's terrible in our culture to be selfish as a woman. We're last. But what I'm learning is if I had taken care of me better, I'm going to be around longer to take care of those that love me. And I can take care of them in a more healthy way because I'm healthy. So I need women who believe in, like me. And we're even doing a TV pilot of them following me. And it's not just documentary, boring, but you'll see all the things of me losing weight, me thinking I'm even cuter.
That's
dating, fashion, finding disparities, and just having a circle of women who want to take this journey with me. And we need investors, and just come help me get it together to keep that promise to my mother, and to also help you, because if we help our daughters, then we won't assign them the same thing that our mothers and their mothers and before them assigned them, that we're always last. And that's not selfish. That's self-love. And I promise you, I think we'll even make better decisions about who we date, about the men that we let in our lives, about everything that we do, because we'll have these boundaries that are healthy. And it's hard, it's daily, but I'm getting there. So if you want to help with SUGGA Mamas, if you want to help me creatively with this show, if you want to be on this show, a part of it, and show that in Tennessee, one of the heaviest cities for children and women, particularly in our community, 37218, Border Road 37208, Jefferson Street, where we reside. They have hot spots for obesity in Nashville, and it's because it's where we are. So do this journey with me. Help me find investors. Help me be creative. Just come with me and let's get it together. So come on, y'all, do this with me.
Yes. That's so good. So you heard her say that she needs help. That means she needs volunteers. If you know food vendors, if you know people that love to cook and love to work with young women and have a concern for health, even if you don't have a concern for health, you can always help. So tell them how they can get in touch with you.
You can reach me, Marilyn, Cathy, at 615-200-4421. And again, that's 615-200-4421. And let's help make the farm, because it's in our neighborhood, the old school farm. The only thing that separates us is Bradley Parkway from Bordeaux going into Ashland City. And they want the diversity. They want the two communities to be here. And so we're going to plan on doing some things out here that we like to do, like having a soul out music night or garden, gospel brunches, things that'll bring our community, because these guys here are all about diversity and serving the community. And they gift us. There's all kind of things that they give office space to. They're what's called the room, the important room we just left. The conference room, boardroom. Yeah.
Yes.
Delta's organizations come out here and they just give it to free.
Yeah.
Because they want us to bring the bridge, be the bridge between the two communities.
Great. So you guys heard how you can support her. They have a Facebook page, so you can also find them on Facebook. SUGGA
Mamas Girls Club. And I know that sometimes have negative connotations, SUGGA Mamas, but I chose that name because that's what my uncle used to call me when I was little. He said, "You just my cute little sugar mamas," and that's what I call my granddaughters. So I spell it different to try to divert you from that, and we put Girls Club attached. So it's SUGGAMOMMAS Girls Club, and we are on Facebook.
Great,
all right.
Great.
And make sure when you go check us out that you like the page. We need that. And the women's program that we're doing it with a partnership with Weight Watchers, Cheatham Place Housing, and it's called Women of Worth, the Wild Women. And we meet once a week and we do the same thing. We cook, but mostly we talk about what's bothering us. And believe it or not, through the help of talking, we're getting better. So I need more women in that program, because if I get 15 women, then Weight Watchers will come on site free of charge, so that there's no excuse that we can't get to them. And now TennCare pays for it, and your basic insurance, because obesity is now a disease, not just a choice. So your insurance will pay for Weight Watchers now. So again,
that's great information.
That's great information.
So and that's one of the reasons I like to do table talk. We want to sit around the table and have these conversations about health and wholeness, and about building healthy relationships with other women, and even making sure that our girls see us doing that, so that it's not so hard for them when they're ready to connect with other. Because you hear so much women saying, I don't get along with women. That's not good, because we're better together.
And that's why this television pilot, making it happen, is so important, because Black women's image in TV right now is the pits, and our girls are watching it and thinking it's cool, man. Even we watch it and think it's cool to share our men off for things and bling and makeup. No, it ain't cool. It's not cool. So let's show the world that there's a whole nother side, that there's these women who are doing great things. Honestly, I lost everything. I don't have nothing. By the world standards, I'm so broke. But by God's standard, it's everything, because I'm learning who I am. So just come on, help me build this circle and show the world. Look what we're doing in Nashville as Black women. And we're not even looked at as a place that you find anything but country music. But let's show them what we're doing in the IT city, that there's so much diversity here.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me today on Table Talk, where we talk about business, family, and faith, and entrepreneurship. And she's a social enterprise. She's building something. And in order for us to build something that's sustainable, we need others to come alongside of us and walk with us. So make sure you go to the Facebook of SUGGA Mama Girls Club on Facebook, like them, and figure out how you can get involved with helping them move to that next level. So thank you for joining us, and we will talk with you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.